So starting up on turn 7, so we've got allies have just gone to total war. The CP are quite far behind, only on 7, so it's quite a way to go there. We've got Turkey and France being managed offensive. France is not too bad. Obviously not ideal in this situation, but he's got options, so he's very unlikely to miss it. He can attack from Paris, he can attack from Nancy and things like that. Turkey is fine. You just attack over here somewhere. It's not a big deal. So we get some strategic movement from both sides. So reinforcing up. I've seen a lot of people start to do this. You start to, for those garrison duty things, you start to bring across Austria-Hungary cause. Because he's, he doesn't have very many in the box. Like, he's got plenty to bring. You can, if they're like in a position, so they were in Martin, so it allows you to kind of get rid of them and out of the way and bring someone new in, which he's done. So this 9 has gone in. 5 has gone to a 9. So it's really useful. Very good strategy on the Eastern Front with Germans. That is now matching 3 Russian armies, and so you're just Germanifying the Eastern Front a little bit. And we get this really important thing here, which he brings the German corps into Budapest. This is to stop the trench buster card from the Russians from working. So if you read it carefully, like, it only works on Austrians, doesn't work on any Germans at all. So if you put 1 corps in there, you're all good. Obviously if that corps dies, make sure you get someone in there. So just keep a German person in there at all times. Got some more, so doing a little reinforcing of their own. They put some units in Verona. So again, you can see they're like saving, they're taking that unit out. So now it's all British, and putting them somewhere more useful. It's a really good way to kind of save on those ops. You don't always have to move. The SRs are really perfect for that. He also reinforces Egypt, which is fine, and puts another one in London. Which is good. This is another kind of common thing you'll see people do, is because it's 4 as well, it can move slightly further, so it could go to Amiens or something like that, and go through and then kind of come back if you want to. Reinforcements. I'm going to whip through these ones because there's a lot of turns to get through, and we get our first attack, Nancy, and so this is a good one. You can see here he's kind of putting a couple of units in just to destroy the fort, which is good. Not sure why he doesn't attack with everyone there. Doesn't really make sense to me, because then he could have definitely destroyed the fort. I'm not sure if that's a misclick. I don't understand why you'd want that fort to stay alive. And then you could also move up to Nancy and make that your front line. If we do it with red, you can see here, if you move up to Nancy, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, he's got longer. I'm not really counting these guys because it's not like Superman, so I'm not that bothered about it. So it does increase the line a little bit, but he's got Chateau Thierry as well, so there's a lot of stuff to do. Let's just do that bit. Right. So looking at the line here, he could have moved into Nancy there. I'm not quite sure why he didn't do that particularly. I mean, just even if he didn't want to move in there, he could have destroyed the fort. I'm not sure if that was a misclick. But you can see the line, if he did move in there, the line would be increasing. So he's putting a lot of pressure on Paris here, and allows him to kind of maybe push down if he wants to. He could bring that, see if he brought that group to Nancy, but he obviously doesn't want to do that. So he also moves a unit down here to the south just to stop that cut-off play. So this is like the oldest trick in the book, but people do this a lot, is you put these 2 and you run them onto here, and then this guy goes 1, 2, 3, 4, cuts off there, and then you've got a decision to make there. Like, what do? You could try and cut them off by bringing someone down, so you could go like so if Bashir wasn't there, sorry, as well, like they move in here, so they can do sometimes is, if you haven't moved up and you're in Damascus, you can cut them off, so you just go 1, 2, 3, go down there, 1, 2, 3, and go into, I mean, you can sit here, but you're going to be attacked probably, and then that just draws more people in, like more resource, more stuff, and it's just not worth it. Let's see, and we go to turn 4, so we get a couple of moves. So he's obviously decided now that there's this big move out here, so he's brought in more Brits. He's really solidified his line now, so now Calais is now exposed. He can also do some good stuff where if he wants to, he can attack from both sides, and he could move this guy into Calais. I probably wouldn't do that, but something you can do. He's solidified, so Chateau Thierry is quite a dodgy place to be because you can get 2 stacks of French attacking in it. He's done some more moves here and just solidified his hold here, and you can see he's starting to slip guys down to get that double effect. So probably from, here he'll kind of attack in or attack in there. There's still a little bit of worry because you could come through here, come through there, and make start to cut this stuff off, or you've got these guys up here that have also start to think about maybe trying to loop round the back or something like that. Again, it's telegraphed. You're not going to get caught out of that happening. This is why these cores are really good, because they kind of stop those plays from happening. If you run your guys through, you can move them up and cut them off if he wants to kind of move through, and he just doesn't have enough armies here still to kind of make this big push, so he's kind of posturing and threatening, so if you kind of get too overextended, it's not going to work. But I like this. I mean, he's re-solidifying his line. There's a lot of opportunity here for the Germans to hold in, dig in where they want to. That would be a good place to dig in if they can, Calais and here, so keeping that line nice and short. He does some more moves, so he moves out of here and just puts some more troops in Sedan and gets his main force against the Brits. Again, it's good he's doing this because if you think about that mandated offensive, where are the French going to attack now? He could, these got to be on the Western Front, so he's going to have to do something. Can't attack Cambrai, so this is a good thing that the tank does a lot. It's like, when you've got these mandatory offensives, that's pretty why he didn't move into Nancy, but he still should have attacked with all of it, and then he could have destroyed the fort, which would have been useful. 14 points, so as I said, he moves up to here and moves to Budapest. He moves his unit, this army out of Paris to Chateau Thierry, which is good. You also, if you have to retreat 1, you can retreat to Paris. If you have to retreat 2, you can retreat to Paris. So it's a really good place to go. He is out on a loop here, though, because now German can just attack back, and what are you going to do? If you get pushed back, you can't get your mandated offensive. So again, I really like that. I think it's a good idea. It's clever, and he's going to do it. So good idea. Definitely take advantage of those mandated offensive. All those 1VPs add up over the whole game. He gets his own one. Could he have moved back here? Yeah. That could have been a good move. Would have been worth considering. Could have moved back to this one here, and then he wouldn't have had anywhere to attack, and he lost a VP, but nope. So it's a miss there. He does some more moving around here just to kind of capture up some of these bits, and he's going to attack, so let's see how it goes. It goes really well, double sixes, and this is what happens. He does get a wound, which is nice, but so you see, he's lost VP because of this. You're going to regret that. Here we go, we've got another attack on Krakow, so he attacks in, gets a good roll, not enough to destroy, but some nice damage there. Again, he can just repair all this stuff up next turn because he's got the things, so there's that VP. We get some nice, so this is also good. The reason I like this is you've got that really secure supply line. It can't be cut off without telegraphing. So you've got two supply lines coming in there, which is good. On to turn 8. So he brings in Bulgaria. He knows he needs to get to limited war. I just want to say with limited war, like you can see here, you'll miss. That's 3 German armies. That is painful. I mean, he's lucky as well because the Belgians are out and BFE. That's not super lucky. The BFE are out, but they're out. So like, there's less stuff on the Western Front. So I guess he can slow down his play a bit. More Brits. I'd love to see it. More Brits. War in Africa. Yeah, another good one. Just play it. Zimmerman Telegraph. Yep. Get those. It's good getting those things in early. We've got another strategic redeploy. So this is something that happens quite a lot with those Brit cores. The Allied ones, you kind of dump them in Italy for good defence, particularly on trenches, make it very hard to go anywhere. And you see he's put another French one there as well, just getting it out of Paris because again it's starting to take up space, and you want to be able to dump as many guys as you can in there. He also moves a third RU to here. I don't know. I don't see the point in that. Just think it's a bit, what? Like, you're not going to push through there anyway. So dig in Sedan. This is a good move. So he's moved up to Nancy. with his guys here. So again, taking advantage of that trench and things. See, he digs in Sedan, so that's good. He attacks in Calais. It's only going to go one way, and that allows him to move 3 guys in there. So this is where a great spot to be, because you can see that second line is starting to build up. So you can attack in here. Get those double ones. So that's quite exposed. That's like a good spot to get those double attacks. So you can get up to that 18. And the way you can kind of roll it is like, if you have 2 stacks of, let's say 5 armies, you attack with 4 of them, that gets you to 16. You take a hit on 1 army. Let's say if you do get 7'd, and then the next time you attack with the 4 again, so you're getting 2 attacks of 16 plus, which is really, really good. Attacks in Budapest. This is, you'll see here. So where's he going to take the hits? Kills off the army. You've got to kill off the army because he just doesn't know, like, what's he got here. If he killed off the German corps and took a hit, and then he could probably move someone in, but there's no rush. That's never going to fall in 1 turn of combat. It's unfortunate he didn't get a higher one, but that's the way it goes sometimes. We get some more attacks. So he's decided he's going to try and dig in Cambrai. So he's making a really big line, but I guess he's only he's doing that because he's moving to Brussels, which is where he's probably actually going to dig in. So he just wants to maybe pay for it a little more, add a bit of a roadblock. But you see he's pulling back to that 4 line. Doesn't need all this stuff. Verdun is not a great place to sit with an army until you can dig in, so you can keep pushing them away. That sort of stuff is always really useful. Also playing Place of Execution. A lot of people just play this. That may be why he kept Nancy, just to play Place of Execution, because you have to do it on a French fort, and it's probably not going to be on Belfort. So he, I think that's pretty good deck awareness that's coming up. Goes well with the +2. Nice, gets the 7, and destroys the French army and corps. 1 to 5, Independent Air Force. So he's not played it, so could get it out of your hand. Does he really need to do this? He attacks in Ostend and pushes them out, and he attacks in Cambrai as well. That's a nice move as well. You see, getting 1 op, doing 2 attacks, damaging a German army, which is good 1-for-1 trade. Making him have to think about those ops using for repairs. Attacks in Krakow again, gets a good result. And Krakow's going to get a little squirrely now, but again, it's just not going to go anywhere. You're just going to sit there. He attacks here with a single one to maybe get rid of this card. That's probably why. So again, trimming down the deck. He's willing to lose that guy because, again, you can run up here, but there's not an army or anything. It's just, and it's going to be a lot of ops, and he's got other stuff to do. So finally, the attack comes here on the weak part of the line, which rolls well. Russians well badly, and he can. Thankfully, it's not so badly that he can't reduce. So he can reduce and stop. So again, it's going to be another turn. He can either move in reinforcements or just ignore it for another turn. And you see, he doesn't do that. So he does a big move. He's moving his army down to Sofia. So again, you can start to hoover up all these corps. It's all mountainous though, which is why again Salonika kind of sucks, just because it's like a really hard place to fight. Like even with the Italians and stuff coming in, you're rolling like 3s or something like that on the army stuff, so it's just not that great. He's brought some people in here, so he's destroyed the fort, which is good, and he's also potentially lining up a cut-off. So this is another. If you end up, I don't tend to go this way. I mean, obviously he's gone this way because it's empty. Got a bit unlucky and completely dying. But if you are going to attack and you have the army, going through here is usually better, because then you've got options of going around the back, going down there or going down to here or something. Reinforcing here. So again, the mountains again, it gives you that trench effect, so you can kind of stifle attacks and be genuinely a little difficult. Got some. Germany's fine. Italy's not ideal. You're gonna have to pay 2 ops for it unless you're attacking down here. It's okay. He's got options. He's not gonna trick him, but none of them are great, right? Whoever you attack with is dying. There's no cause here, so an army's probably gonna blow up. You can move in here, but then he'll just move back. So just stuff to think about. So he does some more strategic movement. Again, Bulgarians in Turkey holding the line, classic. Another one here just to keep him honest. And again, getting getting those Austro-Hungarian ones out, just putting it somewhere else. There's probably other places you could have put it, but that's fine. And bringing more in. Again, keeping it nice and Germanified, that line. HL takes command, so now you've got a lot of those kind of trench buster cards are starting to come into play. As soon as that happens, you need to bear that in mind. Start thinking, where are my trenches? Can I be cut off if there's a successful assault on a trench and they push me off? Someone gets caught there. Big move, bringing up the reinforcements, good. Moves back into Nancy, getting that trench and stuff, and he moves back into Calais, so you can see he's probably going to try and push through Cambrai. And he moves to here, and you've got an option now. Sax's just going to move that back, I'd imagine. Well, no, he's not. Whatever, he gets some RPs down. He's probably smarter than me. So this is the thing, it's like you're attacking, he nearly low rolled that. He does kill it, which is good, and gets to move up. And he gets that mandated offensive, which is good. I probably would have moved back. Why not? Make him pay more ops for it. And, move your guys around. There's the potential for cut off here as well. If you see, like, Sophia can attack down into here. I mean, do I trust the Serbians stacking into things? No, not really, but it can happen. It's not a great cut off either. Only one call. Cambrai. He attacks into Cambrai and wins. Takes a hit. Pushes him back. So this is the thing, is like this is why it's really good. So Sank pushed up, and he took that place because every time you're pushing through it, you now put yourself in a position where you can get flanked by two guys until you can dig in. It's just a bugger. Hammer comes down again. So 4 versus 5, not ideal. You see, he kills all the Germans there because he wants to keep an army in there, and he's got cores that he can bring in, so he can bring in those cores down. See, immediately puts them back in, and also that's a good thing because it allows him to have a chance of digging in. Didn't pan out, but it's just bad luck. Tries to dig in again in Strasbourg because that one got destroyed earlier, but unfortunately he's unlucky. Reinforces Sedan, so now you've got a significant army there. Looking very menacingly down at your guys in Cambrai. What are you going to do? Got to dig in. Otherwise, you've got to keep that. That's like the great thing about what you can do is the Germans, like you kind of push up and then you recede, and they push into expensive places where they're going to take a lot of whacks to do it. Yeah, just clearing the way. So he's not going that way yet, but he will do eventually, I imagine. Get a lot of reinforcement points. He's got a lot of bills to pay. There's a lot of weakened armies out here that he wants to kind of catch up. He could probably be more aggressive, particularly the Brits and stuff, especially. He's got stuff that he can spend it on. But I don't know. Maybe he's overpaying a little bit. Like, does he really need all that? Probably. Reinforcements, trimming that deck. And having another go in the mountains. And this is why it sucks, because you do 1 damage and he does 0 damage, and it's just embarrassing. And that's just why this whole area sucks, because like the armies that are going to be playing there are going to be probably the Serbians and the Italians. Don't bring the Russians down here. It's just not worth it. They're just needed on the Eastern Front, so just don't do it. I mean, if you can bring them there and you're not being punished for it, like more good for you, but like you should be being punished for it. That's what I'm saying. Good attack in here, pushes them off that line, and they're gonna have to go back. They do get damage though, so at least it's not too bad. So they're attacking into here, so this is clever because they know that they're probably going to get repaired. They've got a lot of ops to repair them, and unfortunately they don't get the double, but he's got another 3 stack coming in there, so it's not that big of a deal. Another attack, Italians, thankfully the slapping finally ends, and you get Brussels, so he's going into, this is like when you're at the end of the turn, you're on turn 6 as the Allies. He's got a lot of RPs. He's spent these things. He's given up the opportunity to do other things to provide that opportunity to recover people. And who needs it? The French can spend theirs. Yeah, can spend theirs. That's good. The Russians, probably like 7 or 8, they need to fully do it. And the Brits now, they're going to attack, and they take a hit. And you see, that allows him to spend a bit more. You know, he's still not fully using the Brit ones, but that's fine. So does a lot of replenishment. Got more Russian armies built back up. He's putting them in the north. He knows it's a bit weak. Bit of an opportunity maybe going for Königsberg. There's not much up here. You know, there's a lot of Russians here. I'm not super confident about that. Italy's not moving. VPs are in the Allies' favour. They'd be even better if he hadn't missed those mandatory ops. Oh, 2 VPs. Oh, weeping. Here we go. This is your money shot. 2 German armies for the price of 1. Who doesn't love this? The 17th and 18th army. Great. Romania, he's putting more ops again, paying the tab early. U-boats unleashed. This is good. Because again, it's like every turn you're reducing that RP by 1. If you start, it allows you to hammer the British, and they can struggle to kind of bring it back. Because that, you know, I mean, with a 4, this obviously Romania, but like with a 4 card, you know, that 2 goes to a 1 on the Brits, and suddenly they can't even replenish a whole army. So it allows you to catch up. Brings the Greeks in. Doesn't matter. Just gives you another plane of attack if you want to kind of come in. The other thing it allows you to do is bring in the, well, it doesn't just like Salonika lets you do it as well, but it allows you to bring in the French Oriental Army, which can let you take Constantinople. Yeah, he sees this and moves in quickly, just to push that back and make it a double ops if he wants to put it in. He can't obviously play that, so he just goes in there to move any attacks in cars to get that mandated offensive. So we've got some more movements in Italy, so he's moving up. You see, like, he's clearing the way to Constantinople. These armies can't go into well, I mean, the core can, but the army can't. So you need a core army, which is, you want it to be Brits, probably, which is where, like, Salonika can be useful to get them in quickly, but I just don't think it's worth it. But, like, you know, if you're doing this, someone's going to have to take Constantinople, and it's not going to be the Italian 5th Army. You know, he attacks in Strasbourg, he's paid his bill. It's a bit unlucky with the Esprit. Well, it's pretty unlucky with the Esperity. He wanted to win there, because then even if he didn't destroy, he beat him. He could have, you know, he destroyed a whole army, which is again a nice play. Finally placed Landwehr. Oh my god. I don't know about that, but let's get it out of there. Gets rid of some 2 cards. Peace defensive. He's got to pay the butcher spell, and Paris moves out to Chateau Thierry. Another attack here, so he wants to kind of cut that route, and you see that would cut off this one as well. Doesn't manage to get it. And again, this is what happens. You move into Chateau Thierry and you just get like clapped by the Germans, and you have to move away. But you know, they'll be back. There's always more French people, but now he can't pay. You know, he can pay for that guys. You know, them to come back and, you know, them to be repaired. But he's pretty much up to date. You see, this is like, you know, the sign of good plays. It's like these boxes. You want if these are starting to stack up, like you're doing something wrong, you pay early, pay your bills, get it sorted. So we've got some movements. So again, so he's shifting even more further to the south. Again, there's a really strong supply line there that's very difficult to cut, but you know, people start to get sweaty if it happens. He tries to dig in, is unsuccessful. He's still got that 2 attack play. But now these armies are kind of attached to Serbia, so you know, keep Belgrade safe. I mean, it's still not cut at the moment, but like there's potential for it to be cut with this 3 stack cutting through. Attacks again, another slap fight. Cuts him off. Allows him easy to move up to Antwerp-Nople, which again will cut that one off as well, and then the way to Constantinople is clear. So it's looking pretty good for them. They've got a VP for this. You know, there's a lot of dead Bulgarians in the box. Constantinople gets reinforced. This isn't the end all be all there, because it is a 1 strength army. And here come the big boys. So we get the Army of the Orient. This also, because that was the other move that he moved in there to stop the Orient army from coming in. It has to come in the Salonika. And so now he can just move this up to there, and he's, you know, if he's got good cards, he's got a good chance. So again, he's blocking the way again with that unit, trying to dig in Constantinople. That's the only way you're going to be able to hold it reliably. But you know, you're fishing for 1s and 2s. Popping a couple of attack cards, good. Get them out your deck. And when I'm gone, Alpine Core's obviously going to swing around again though. Yeah, not bad. Better than you'd expect. He doesn't have to retreat, which is nice. Maybe he wanted to retreat. More Brits. Love to see it. More Germans. Also love to see it. He gets a good roll here and manages to kill. And the 5th Army moves up there. Cuts off the way. So now the way is open for the Orient Army to move up. And then you've got a 5, 2 ops. But it's worth all this stuff. Another dig in Sedan. That's good. Fails again in Constantinople. He doesn't want to lose Constantinople, you can tell. It starts to become a bit like ops intensive, like you're shifting corps there and stuff like that, not pan out. So this time, again, you see this good with the mountains. It's a really nice defensive line here because you've got those mountains that really let you like soak up those hits and slow down those German armies and just make that stuff less effective. So you see, he's just reinforcing his 4 line. So he's decided now, he's like, yep, this is where I'm going to be. This is where I'm probably going to sit for the rest of the war. It's nice and secure. Strasbourg is probably the least, so because it doesn't have a trench. See, he's maintained the Brostov offensive. He moves up. He's thinking, yep, going to go for it. Attacks, attacks, attacks. Might as well. You paid your bill. Let's get some fights in. That's a good roll. Kills an army. Not bad at all. Fights in Brussels. Nice. That's what you want to see. That's going to come back, but it's good. Constantinople, he does it. Pays the bill. Constantinople falls, because this is the thing, without the trench, that's what happens. You're going to regret it. But again, it's hard to guarantee. Hoffman, so again, nice, just pushing that roll up, so making it less likely that the Austrians have to fight. And he pays some more. Whole of that falls. And you can see here we're going in. Things are looking very good for the Allies now. Yeah, lots of armies coming in. Another Italy one. So they could be looking even better with those 2 ops. So this looks good now for the Allies. But what's going to happen now? This is where the game will be decided. Probably. Isn't going anywhere. Too many French, too many Brits. They aren't super dug in, but you know, they might dig in, they might not. Depends where they think it's going, but you're not going to be able to attrit that to hell. He is also, this is another nice move I'd like to see some people do. You can bring up some Austrian armies if you don't need them to do some garrison duty. It's nice. Italy's not going anywhere. You're not breaking through this. It's not going to happen. There's not much there, but like what is there, you could push through if you wanted to. But yeah, it's going to be decided in Russia. This is all shut down now. The only one that's open is this. One thing that maybe he could have done, like put some more units on there, because you can put the ANA on there, and that's the only way they can take Medina. So like if you dump like a 2nd corps on there, they don't get out of supplied, like, and disappear. Like they can't move, but they can just sit there. And that's the only one that can attack them. So like that's it. 1 attack versus 1 attack. So you can do a slap fight over Medina if you so choose. But yeah, this is where I think Sankt is now going to swing, shift away from the west, and he's like ceded ground slowly. He's dug in nicely. He's made them pay for it. Do a lot of replenishment, and the Russians are not exposed at the moment. There's plenty of time to move, but you know they're kind of attached to the south here. And where's he going to go? Is he going to try and join up with the Italians? I don't know. I wouldn't. There's no supply over there. You start to get really strung out, and you're going to want those armies to be helping. I think he's going to make a push in the north to Königsberg, Danzigsburg, and kind of threaten towards Berlin. And so that means that Sankt is going to have to shift guys over here. So just looking in here, there is no more armies coming in. You've still got the British Near East Army, which you don't need anymore, which is nice. You've got the Germans, and you've got the US, which you can bring in. You want to bring in because you want those VPs if it's going to go the distance. All right, I'm going to call it there. Thanks very much.